Hey there, toy collector friends and Doctor Who fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Triple TC, that's the time travelling toy collector, and I'm back with another in my series looking at Doctor Who The Collection. Yes, this is not the official part of the collection, that's the limited edition Blu-ray mega box sets. These are in fact the Steelbooks containing the New Who elements from 2005 up to the present day, but in order to have a continuity of this physical media series, I've supplanted all of the New Who seasons from series 1, which equated to classic in classic numbers, season 27, into the follow-on of Doctor Who The Collection. Great news as well, we've just heard that a forthcoming release of the official and the original type of the collection has been announced, which is season 15, series 15, which is a Tom Baker series, and as soon as that's released, which I believe is going to be in March 2024, but we'll see, the dates have a habit of changing, but assuming that is the case, then if that becomes the next release, that will then take a priority in this video series, and we will look at that next, and then we will continue. Just for those who don't know, in the first instance, I'm zooming through, covering all of the first seasons of A New Doctor. So I did the Christopher Eccleston in what was essentially season 27, and this will become season 28 in the linear nature of Doctor Who. But of course, it is really season 2 of Doctor Who, as produced by Russell T Davies and starring in his first full series as the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, along with Billie Piper returning as Rose. There were previous iterations of this, but this is the Blu-ray version, and what I will do in a moment, once we've gone through the usual little tour of the Blu-ray Steelbook, is I'll just show you, because I've actually packed away the box that the Series 2 DVDs then came in, but I do have the outer shell because it was a limited edition, much like these are limited edition Steelbooks. There was a limited edition when it was first released. I don't know whether it was an Amazon exclusive or not, but there's a part of me that thinks it was. But I'll show you that because I do have it, and it's kind of fun and goofy and not something we'd see now, kind of, unfortunately. But they had quite a few of those sort of gimmicks with the when they first came out as either DVDs or Blu-rays, which is nice. So yeah, this isn't a toy, obviously, but as those of you who are long-standing members of the channel know, I also look at, because I'm very nostalgia driven, and a lot of what I'm looking at is nostalgic in by its very nature. I am also a big fan and supporter of the physical media. You know, I think physical media gives us so much more tangible connection to those things we love. And so, yes, I do have streaming services, of course I do, and I do watch things on streaming services, but when it comes to having a collection that you can curate and look after and revisit with lots of special features and, you know, booklets where booklets exist, etc., you can't beat a bit of physical media. Of course, with the need for physical media comes the need for having places to store physical media, so I understand that definitely from a collection point of view, and with something like Doctor Who as a franchise, it just keeps expanding, but as we've seen with the actual collection portion, seasons, what we'll hopefully by at the time all of this is complete will be seasons 1 right through to 26. In the majority of those cases, those season box sets, which are beautiful, take up significantly less space than the previously released DVDs that covered the same period. So technically this is one collection that looks like it becomes a space saver rather than a space eater, for want of a better phrase. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to the main event. And the main event this time is the Series 2, second series of New Who, and there we see the Doctor, the 10th Doctor, freshly regenerated, and Rose Tyler on the front cover. I keep these sort of slip cases on there for protection, but it'll come off in a moment. You can see the lovely sheen of the Steelbook very nice Doctor Who Series 2. And this is what the info we get on the back of that slipcase. It gives us some lovely artwork of the key villains of this series. A little bit spoilery, I'm afraid, but I suppose it was many years ago now. It's quite frightening to think of it. So yeah, episodes listed there includes the Christmas special that bridged the gap between Christopher Eccleston's season and the first of David Tennant's. The bonus features are listed, all the blurb that you need to be aware of, the legals, etc, etc. Not really anything on the back, and so it is. And this side just sort of has the same sort of colour scheme. So there we are. So let's take this away, pop this here for closer examination in a moment, and you'll see with this we also got, and yeah, there's a leaflet there about other Doctor Who releases, but we also got a series of art cards, which now I bet you any money won't want to come out of this little wrapper. Of course they don't, so I'll do them this way. There you go. So it's there's a Spider-Man, no, a Cyberman. I'll leave the wrapper on that one because he doesn't want to play. It's quite tight. That's the cover art, and there's the sonic screwdriver in all its glory. There's the what we saw from the slipcase, and a close-up use of that Dalek and the Dalek backdrop, which means that that Cybermen one is probably there for this part of the composite of that. So that's a nice little bonus feature. Never really know what to do with art cards when they give you art cards as a bonus. And also I've just noticed as I'm moving them out of shot that on the reverse of each of the art cards there is a quote, and we can see the range of quotes across the different cards. And whilst I'm doing that, I've managed to knock over the Steelbook, which I shall now salvage and pop back there so we can take a look at it. Well, actually I'll put it in my hand because that's much easier. So again, we have that wonderful Steelbook sheen that you can see there with those two characters on the cover, and as on the reverse, which will come as Zero Shock, we have that wonderful piece of art featuring the Cybermen and the Daleks. And if you look there on the top Dalek here, as I let the light shine up it, his eye stalk almost looks like it's lighting up there. Do you see that? I think that's really lovely effect. Actually it's in both their eye stalks, which I think is fantastic. The Cybermen don't really get much of an effect, but it's still very nice anyway. On the inside, we get the picture discs, the wonderful the Sladen there, Dalek Cyberman, and behind we have the Doctor and Billy, the Doctor and Rose. So that's nice and straightforward. There's no flap here, so it is literally they have to come out to see what's on the other side, and it's just a shot of the TARDIS, a very blurry shot frankly of the TARDIS, but it's nice because we do usually like to see the TARDIS make an appearance on the artwork for these sets. So yeah, not an awful lot to look at on the inside, but as I said, this is really just for completion's sake. But I think the artwork continues to be absolutely gorgeously stunning for these Steelbooks, and I for one absolutely adore them, and I think they're a really lovely way to curate the ongoing story of the Doctor. Now I'm just going to move this out of the way because I did promise you at the beginning I was going to show you this. I'll move this back slightly because this is quite hefty. So this is a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say about it taking up space, because this is the sort of thing you had to work with. Don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic. I'm not going to do much showing around of it because there's not that much to show, but this is how season 2 was presented as a DVD case, and I'll just try and bring that down so you get the full glory of it. But it's a plastic modelled cyber head. I mean, what can I tell you? It is everything that it appears to be. You know, it's phenomenal. But it's certainly hefty. In fact, if I zoom out slightly, you might be able to get a better shot and a better look at it there. But it certainly is a hefty beastie. But yeah, so that's how awkward it had to be on the shelf, or however you chose to present it. As I say, it did come with a box within this box, which actually I think had a lenticular frame, so as you moved it, the Cybermen put its gun up and down, etc, etc, which is a neat little touch. But ultimately it's a cumbersome piece of plastic, but my god, did we think it was fantastic back in 2006 or 2007 or wherever this was actually released. But yeah, so a wonderful piece of physical media. As I say, the boxes that were in this I've put elsewhere. They're sort of stored away for now, because I think I'm still trying to determine whether or not I'm going to keep everything, or apologies, that's me just trying to zoom in. Keep everything, or perhaps start to make some space elsewhere for other aspects of my collections, which would probably be very much appreciated by all around me. But in the meantime, my focus is back on this wonderful Steelbook and the beautiful artwork. And again, it's really a masterpiece in terms of curating what is actually a wonderful piece of televisual history. Even though it's sort of recent history in the scheme of things, which it's not going back to 1963, it's part of the legacy that started its broadcast airtime in 1963. And I think that is, you know, the fact we've breached a 60th anniversary, and I've done the 60th anniversary special box set there as well on the channel, so you'll find that in the Doctor Who the collection, or collecting the collection playlist. I just think that it's as physical media goes, we continue to see love and attention paid to this, whether it's in the current New Who box sets, or in the issuing of the classic series via the collection. I continue to be impressed by the work that's done by the teams behind it on their documentaries, etc, etc. And it would be nice if we saw some of that migrate across to the new iteration, because perhaps that's the one criticism. And again, I don't tend to talk about the content, this is more about what the physical media looks like. But in terms of the content, yeah, we do not perhaps get quite the variety and depth of behind the scenes and cast interviews and etc, etc. But we get enough, and the fact that we get this is, to me, absolutely fantastic. So, you know, I hope this has added to my, you know, curated list of the collection, and I very much look forward to sharing with you the next in the classic series collection when it comes out, which, as I say, I think is season 15, a Tom Baker season, which has got a bit of a mixed range of stories in there, shall we say. And then I will continue, once that one's done, with my series of first seasons for all the new Doctors, which will probably therefore be Matt Smith's first season as the 11th Doctor. And so we will continue until we get the collections, and then we'll just go back to all the collections that I've got other than that, and we will infill on the way through, and then continue on again with the New Who collections as well. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I probably explained it far better in one of the other videos. Again, just to address anyone that's still there who's unhappy that I'm calling this season 28, I'm only calling it season 28 in terms of the continuity of from season 1 starring William Hartnell right through to where we end up with Ncuti Gatwa and whoever else comes next. I appreciate that in New Who this is series 2. I appreciate that Ncuti Gatwa is getting his own version of season 1. So, you know, the numbering of the seasons is a little bit of a potential toxic mire that we don't really need to get bogged down into. This is just purely for the sake of the collection that I'm calling it season 28. So, you know, call me ironic if you like, if that helps, or call me imbecilic if you think I should just say it's season 2. It's nothing to do with the old series. Those are not discussions that I'm looking to have, because it's all one fabulous long series as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, take care. Thank you for spending the last 15 or so minutes with me. You've been a fantastic audience. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and this has been the Series 2/Season 28 Blu-ray limited edition Steelbook for Doctor Who, the complete second season, starring David Tennant and Billie Piper from the BBC. I look very much forward to seeing you in a future video or a past video, and until then, just remember that a thing of beauty, which this really is, truly is a toy forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.